Welcome back to my channel. My name is Meredith and I make a video every single Monday and Thursday about homemaking for our family of 5. Today's video is going to be an honest review of our Chevy Suburban that we've had in our family for almost 4 years now. We own a 2016 Chevy Suburban. It's a 1500 LTZ model. We originally purchased it in July of 2021 and it's currently January of 2025 and we are still loving it. I have 3 kids and all 3 of them were originally in a car seat when I bought it, but now I only have 1 left in a car seat. I cannot believe it. My youngest is now in pre-K, so he is forward facing and he's my last one in that 5-point harness. So that's how I have it currently set up for my 3 kids. They are currently almost 10, 7.5, and 5. And stay tuned to the very end if you want to see how I originally had the car set up when all 3 of them were in those 5-point harness seats, because I feel like that's family's number one concern is how are we going to fit all these car seats and how much cargo space are we really going to need? In my honest opinion, the more cargo space, the better. I have loved my Suburban for almost 4 years now, and honestly, I think I will only ever drive Suburbans now. Number 1, because of the car seats, and number 2, the cargo space. In my opinion, those are the 2 biggest factors if you are a family of 5 or more, or even just a large family who likes to travel, or if you have twins or kids in sports or anything. It has been the best vehicle for me and my family these past almost 4 years now. A thing that I found on Amazon I was going to share really quickly, it is linked on my Amazon storefront. This is called the Bucklebee, and if you have kids that need help unbuckling their car seat by themselves, this has been a big help. That way my kid can get themselves unbuckled while we were in the car line, and then he can get in and out of the car much easier. Now, I want to show you all a raw footage, a real life. I have not detailed or vacuumed my car out yet, but I want to show you how well everything has upheld. Besides vacuuming and wiping everything down and have it detailed, I want to show you how well the leather has upheld. The cup holders have been excellent. Seat belts perfect. We have had 3 car seats in here that have been in almost every different kind of combination. There are also plenty of cup holders even in that 3rd row. We do currently live in Florida. When I originally purchased this, we lived in Tennessee, so we have put a ton of miles on this and it is upheld extremely well. We've had no major issues except putting on new tires, and I'm to the point where I do need some new brakes now. Overall, I would give this vehicle a 10 out of 10. I am definitely a Suburban mom for life now and highly recommend this if you have 3 or more kids. I found some footage of when I originally got this Suburban, and we purchased this in July of 2021. It is now January of 2025, so I've had it almost 4 years now and I still love it, y'all. Now, when we first bought it, my 3 kids were still super young and all 3 of them were still in that 5-point harness. So I'm going to show you what it was originally set up as, because when we first got it, let's see, my kids were 1.5, 3, and 5. Actually, he was 6.5 because he was fixing to go into 1st grade, which is why I set up the car seats this way. I had my youngest, who was still rear facing, directly behind me. He's my 1.5-year-old. And then any school age kid who was able to unbuckle themselves, I put them in the other captain's chair in that middle part right there, because he was able to unbuckle himself and get out on the right hand side of the car to go into school. And then I put my middle child in the very back of the car in the middle so I could still see her and help her get buckled and unbuckled super easily. Some of my favorite features about the Suburban that I still love to this day is this middle part right here. There's tons of cup holders, a ton of storage right in here, and I had just cleaned this out so it's pretty empty, but I've kept DVDs in there, medicines, pens, insurance type stuff, anything that we need, I put it directly in there. And then this is how I originally had it set up when my kids were younger, when we got it in July of 2021. So as you can see, here's all 3 car seats, and one of the questions in my other videos was what kind of car seat it is. This is the Graco 3-in-1 convertible car seat, and I got it for all 3 of my kids and I love it. I do have it linked below in my Amazon storefront link, so if you wanted to go to that, you can check it out and kind of see more about the dimensions, just further information about it. But I loved it because you can also use it for such a long period of time. Here's what I did, and I recommend doing this if you have a baby or infant or toddlers that are still rear facing. This is how I used the space. So since no one was really getting out on the left hand side of the car, I would have everybody get out on the right hand side of the car and then use this little space as storage for diapers, wipes, toys, snacks, waters, anything that we might need that even I could just kind of reach around and pull over if I needed to. And that way it wasn't taking up anybody's walking space trying to get out. I also used a bunch of storage in my trunk. My Suburban also has 2 DVD players, which I love. So everyone in the 3rd row can see the movie and everyone in the 2nd row can see the movie. Now, my Suburban is a 2016 LTZ model, so it's a little bit older, and I have not seen any of the 2024 or 2025 2025 Suburbans yet, but I've heard that they have like the TVs in the headrest, which would be super cool. That being said, the DVD player that like pops down in that front part has stopped working and we can't figure out how to get it fixed. Like if you're in the third row, you can still watch movies fine, but for some reason we cannot figure out why the people in the captain's chairs are not able to watch the movie. The number one reason, or I guess I should say the number two reason why I chose a Suburban for our family of 5 is the cargo trunk space. It is absolutely unmatched. I honestly will refuse to drive like any other Suburban because the trunk space is not even compare, especially if you are a family of 5 or more. If you have 3 or more kids, you have to have that cargo space. So that is what my current setup was in the very back, or like the trunk in the cargo space. Now I don't have that storage thing in there anymore, but I did love that. So here's kind of what it looked like when I had 3 young kids, when 2 of them were still in diapers, and I had a big double stroller that I put back there. Now my cargo space has been replaced from a double stroller to like a double-decker wagon. And the main reason for that is my son does baseball now. He does travel baseball, so we need all of the space for all of the baseball stuff, chairs, but everything still fits perfectly, and I don't have to sacrifice that third row at all. Buttons right there on the right-hand side. You can move the third row completely down or halfway down, and then if you still have kids who are in car seats, you can see right here that little flap can go down and you can anchor your car seats if you need to. All 3 of them have an anchor spot if that's needed. That is a huge plus, especially if you're buying a Suburban. You're probably a large family. You need car seats to fit in like multiple different places, especially traveling. And then to close the trunk, you just press this button on the top right hand side and it easily closes. Another thing people were asking was, have we had any major issues in this last almost 4 years with my vehicle? And the answer is no. I will say the one major thing that I need to get is new brakes put on right now. I can tell it's time, but otherwise we have been loving it. It also gets decent gas mileage still. I know a lot of times people are kind of hesitant to get those larger SUVs, but honestly it gets better gas mileage than my husband's truck, and we have a ton more space. Regarding cup holders, the only thing I wish I could get is those 2 cup holders that are attached to that middle console. I know some Suburbans do have that. That's the only thing cup holder wise that I wish I did have, especially now that my kids are older and everybody's like forward facing in those captain's chairs. That would be nice to have that extra set of cup holders in that like middle console area. Comment below if y'all have any questions so far. And for those of you that do have a Suburban that's like a 2017 or newer, tell me what features you are loving about it, because eventually we probably will need to trade this in, but I'm just trying my best to keep this as long as possible. And I've also heard that it's kind of harder to find like the captain's chairs nowadays. A lot of the Suburbans are only have the benches, so I'm also really hesitant to give up my Suburban that does have those captain's chairs. So there's kind of like a better overview if you are someone that does have like newborns, infants, toddlers, where you have 1,000 different things that you have to carry. I wanted to show you these water bottles. They fit perfectly, both right by obviously your kid's cup holder in the door and in that little cup holder too. Besides diapers and wipes and toys, you see that little pair of blue Crocs right there. I highly recommend just putting a pair of like flip-flops or Crocs or something, because if y'all know, like babies and toddlers and even like little preschools, as soon as they get in the car, they would always rip their shoes off. So that's another thing, or they end up with like no shoes. So including all that other storage, I would always include like an extra set of shoes. Whether you put that behind the car seat or in the back cargo space in this area. So again, here's the number one reason why I'm getting the Suburban, this cargo space in the back. It is unmatched to a lot of other vehicles. And since we are a family of 5 with 3 kids, then the other important thing to me was having my 3 kids separated, because as y'all know, if you have 3 or more kids, having all 3 of them together, it's not the end of the world, but it's pretty close. They end up in everyone's space. They always fight and bicker. So I've really enjoyed having both captain's chairs and then one in the back or some combination, especially when we are traveling, for each kid to just have their own space. I think maybe like a Yukon Denali XL or something else with an XL would be the only other thing kind of similar to this that you could compare it to. But now that I have owned this for almost 4 years now, I will probably always be driving a Suburban. It currently has around, I think like 113,000 miles, but I am still loving it even after almost 4 years of owning it. And again, I'm going to show you all the difference of how I have it set up now, but one final time, this is how we had it set up. Even when I got groceries, I could put all of the groceries in the back, still fit a stroller on the side, and you can see how the car seats are set up, and you can see both of the DVD players too. And there was plenty of space for all of the car seats that we needed, anything that needed to go to the back and more. Also loved the air conditioned seats, heated seats, and then like remote start that came with it. Such a wonderful help. We currently live in Florida now, so those air conditioned seats are life changing. $7 for this car tablet mount, y'all. I tried it out and I love it. Parents and road trippers, y'all are gonna love this. So I tested this out. I put it on the back of the passenger seat and the driver's seat. And this tablet mount for your car worked so well. The assembly of this is super easy to put together. It only comes with these 2 pieces, and you put the 2 pieces together like this. So this part easily is adjustable. So it will fit your car's headrest right here, and then this other part is adjustable. It can come in or out depending on how far you want it. I'm 5'8", so I'm a little bit taller, so I wanted to go ahead and sit back in the captain's chair just to make sure it wasn't too close to me, and it was perfect. Loved the durability of this material, and it held it really securely. Even fit my large tablet the long way. And how cool is this part? I love that you can view this vertically and horizontally. That way you can move it around and adjust it so a lot of passengers in your car can view it. Just such a big help, especially on those long road trips. Comes in 2 different colors, a black or a red and black, and it is super easy to assemble and then take out of your car. I have it linked to my Amazon storefront if y'all want to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like this video, and I'll see y'all next time.